Hi everyone, my name is Anna. I'm a pediatric speech-language pathologist and I work with infants and children with feeding difficulties. I'm so excited to be partnering with Parapharmatech to talk to you a little bit about Gelmix and their partnership with the IDDSI framework. If you're tuning in or looking at this, you've probably at least heard of Gelmix. But if you haven't, I'll walk you through it really quickly. Gelmix is an odorless, tasteless, off-white powder that when mixed with lukewarm liquid creates a smooth, thickened consistency. Gelmix is made from 3 simple ingredients: organic tapioca maltodextrin, organic carob bean gum, and calcium carbonate. It is USDA certified, organic, certified kosher, non-GMO, vegan, and free of most common allergens. Gelmix can be used to thicken formula or breast milk, and it's most commonly used to treat reflux or dysphagia in infants and children. So how do we know how thick Gelmix is making our liquids, our formula or our breast milk? We use something called the International Dysphagia Diet Standard, also known as IDDSI. It's quite a mouthful. The IDDSI framework is a framework that classifies the consistency of solids and the thickness of liquids on a scale of 0 to 8, with liquids encompassing the 0 to 4 part of that scale. So 0 is going to be your thin liquids like water, and as the numbers on the IDDSI scale increase, the thickness of the liquid increases. Okay, so that's how we're going to tell how thick our liquids are. And using that scale, we're going to do something called the IDDSI flow test or drip test, which is going to help classify our liquids into those numbered thickness categories that I just talked about. To complete the drip test, you're going to need a couple supplies. You're going to need the IDDSI funnel, which looks a little bit like this, kind of hard to see in my camera with the reflection. You're going to need your liquid of choice, and then you're going to need a timer. I have my computer running off screen with a timer on it. Usually I use my phone, but that's what I'm filming on. So I have my computer today. When you first open one of these funnels, you're going to want to do a test with a thin liquid like water to make sure your funnel is working correctly, but it's still the same process as the normal IDDSI drip test. So to complete the drip test, the steps are covering this nozzle at the end with your thumb. You're going to fill it all the way up to the fill line with your liquid you're testing. You're going to put it over a container. You could just do it on the counter, but it was fill. You have your timer ready. You're going to look at your timer, release your thumb. You're going to time for 10 seconds, and then you're going to put your thumb back over the nozzle, and however much is left, we'll classify it into different categories, like a level 1 right here, a level 2, I don't know if you can see that right there, or a level 3 right there. An IDDSI level 1 is a slightly thick liquid, level 2 is a mildly thick liquid, and level 3 is a moderately thick liquid. Typically, liquids thickened with Gelmix will be a level 1 or level 2, but it's important to work with your healthcare provider to determine the best consistency for you or your child. So, like I said, when you first open these funnels, you want to do a test to make sure your funnel's working correctly. The way you do that is by completing the drip test with just some water. And you want the water to drain out of the funnel in 6.5 to 7.2 seconds. That tells you your funnel is okay to go to complete the drip test with some thicker liquid. Okay, so I have some water here. We'll do a practice drip test, make sure our funnel's working okay. So again, covering the end with my thumb, I'm gonna fill it up to the fill line with some water. I know it's kind of hard to see from that far away, but I'll try to hold it up. Okay, a little too much. All right, so I have it filled up to the fill line, this top black line, again, hard to see, I know, with some water. I'm gonna hold it over my container. I have my timer running over here, and as I release my thumb, I'm gonna take a look at the timer, and I'm gonna pay attention to when the water drains out. And it's done draining right at about 6.8 seconds, which is perfect between our 6.5 and 7.2, so we know that this funnel is A-okay to test our thickened liquids. So bridging back to Gelmix for a second, I'm just going to demonstrate how you would thicken some liquid with Gelmix, and then we'll test some thickened liquid using this IDDSI drip test. So like I mentioned in the beginning, in order for Gelmix to work, it needs to be added to a lukewarm liquid. While we've been chatting, I've had some formula warming in a bottle warmer on the side. So this is a nice warm liquid. I have 5 ounces here, and I'm gonna add 2.4 grams of Gelmix, which would be the recipe for a slightly thick, that IDDSI level 1 liquid. 2.4 grams of Gelmix is either gonna be 1 pack like this, which comes in a box like this, or it would be 2 scoops from the jar. I'm just gonna use the pack today. There's 2 different ways to mix it. You could either pour the pack into a container like this and just shake it up well for 30 seconds, or you can pour it into a bit of a bigger container like this, which is what I like to do. And then I like to use a hand mixer, which they sell on their website, to mix it up. Okay, so I have my formula in here. I'm gonna add my stick of Gelmix to it. Add it to it, pour it in here. And then I'm gonna mix it with my hand mixer for about 15 seconds. It's important to make sure your liquid isn't too hot, or you might get some clumps of Gelmix, okay? So I'm just mixing it up really well. All right. So once you feel like it's adequately mixed, you can either leave it in this container with a cap on, or you can transfer it back to its original container where it's gonna need to sit to continue the thickening process for about 10 minutes is the recipe for this specific formula for an IDDSI level 1. This kind of brings me to, how do we know how long the wait time is? How do we know how much Gelmix to add to like a different formula or breast milk? It can vary a little bit from formula brand to breast milk about how long the wait time needs to be to achieve the same IDDSI consistency. So you might need to wait a little longer with a certain formula versus breast milk to both get an IDDSI level 1 thickness. Gelmix has partnered with IDDSI, and they've created recipes for different formulas and breast milk on their website to achieve these different consistencies, which is a really great resource both for healthcare professionals and for parents. So check that out. It's on their website. It's awesome. I definitely use it in my practice and with my patients. So this would normally need to sit for about 10 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys for that long, so I made some thickened liquid with the same recipe before we started the live, so I have it here, and we'll complete the drip test of a thickened liquid together now. So again, remembering our process, right? We have our funnel. I'm going to open this liquid up, cover the nozzle so it doesn't spill, and fill to the fill line. Okay, so it's filled up to the fill line, probably a little easier to see than when it was with the water. Again, I have my timer going here, it's 10 seconds. So I'm gonna keep an eye on the timer as I let this go. I'm gonna let it go now. I'll watch it for 10 seconds. Perfect, so 10 seconds, and we can see that this tested, if you can see, I don't know if you can see, but that's the level 1. So this tested as an IDDSI level 1, or a slightly thick liquid, which is exactly the recipe I made. So again, great resource that Gelmix has where you can look up your specific formula and how the recipe would be to get you these different IDDSI consistencies. And just a reminder to, again, always work with your healthcare provider to determine the safest and best plan for you or your child. We're going to be doing a more in-depth webinar on this topic coming up. It's going to be Tuesday, August 27th at 6 p.m. Central Time. So I'd love to see you there. Keep a lookout on how to register for that. And then I think I saw some questions come in. I'm not very great at looking at the questions while this is going, but I'm going to go through the questions after and do my best to answer them on the story. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you learned something, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll see if I can figure out how to end this video. Thank you.